drawing, sculpturing, decorating, arts and crafts, textile and felt processing, hunting, falconry, smithworks and jewelry. We showcase our national identity in the KazArt program.
Бүгін мен жасап жатқан қазақтың қалыңдыққа беретін қасиетті дүниесі саукеле.
Today I am making a bride's headwear, saukile. This is a traditional headwear that is worn by a Kazakh bride. To make a saukile is one of the difficult jewelry art tasks. There are more than 300 ornaments on this headwear. Every ornament requires a special attention of the master. Currently, I will put every details in the right order, then I should put them on the headwear. The Kazakh jewelry art is kept in these days with modern art. The craftsmen put their own effort to develop this art. Especially we should mention the magnificent works of Darkim Bay Shokpar Uli in the jewelry art. He created a variety of compositions in the jewelry art which were left by our ancestors. The craftsman opened an art school where he teaches the young talented people to the jewelry art. There is a special kind of art which combines precious materials, sometimes with huge property value, refined taste and design of the creator, granting a final product with great artistic value and extensive knowledge in a variety of craft areas. Not a coincidence that in historical research people paid great attention to the work of jewelers, which sometimes evaluate the whole era. My first teacher is my grandmother, my mother's mother. She was a very talented and a handy woman. She could sew, knit, and weave. My grandmother was a vet, agronomist, and tailor of the village. I don't remember now, but I was a child and she made me sit next to her and draw or help her instead of playing in the yard with other little boys from a young age. I was involved in this craft.
Моделері болсын сол кісі болатын. Өйткені әйтеуір тұрмыс мен баламын ес білгелі, әйтеуір сол кісі әйтеуір бірдеңемен айналысып жататын. Сөйтіп кейін кішкене есейе келе мектепке барып, мектепте сызып, жазып үйрендіп, сол кезде мені қарағым келіп отыр. Ойың ешқайда қашпайды. Сен маған мына көзің жанары бар, көмектесіп бер. Мына оюды сызып бер, мынаны кесіп бер, мынаны
When I studied at school, I started learning writing and drawing skills, and she asked me to help with cutting ornaments or to thread a needle. She opened my interest to the art and work. I still remember how my grandmother folded the paper and drew ornaments, then asked me to cut them out with scissors. When I cut the folded paper, I saw a beautiful ornament. Then I was surprised for myself, as I also have skills in the art. I saved that ornament in my pocket for a long time.
Қасиетім бар екен солда әгеге енді балалық қой. Мен мынаны мен жасадым деп әгені мақтанып, соны біразға дейін қалтама салып жүргем.
Kazakh national art of jewelry takes a special place in the national history and culture as well. Kazakh jewelers usually worked individually and passed the secrets of the jewelry making technology from generation to generation. The masters mainly used the gold and silver to give the beautiful look to the items. The masters made such items as women's jewelry, various decorations for clothes, kitchen utilities, furniture, the items made of cattle skin and wood, and the musical instruments, the weaponry, and the horse attributes. The researchers said Yestai's works are similar with the jewelry art which were made in the 19th century. Currently, their art compositions are in disappearance. We are able to see from the jeweler's compositions his hard work, as he is always doing research. The works which were made by the jeweler artisans of the 19th century, Yestai continued with his new technology and new materials. It showed a significance to the jewelry art. Kazakh art of jewelry is being developed in close relation with the nation's history, life, and agriculture. The human being considered the jewelry as an inseparable part of the clothes. Yestai is a jeweler who kept an ancient style and made them with a relevant time, as he pays attention also a beautiful side of his creation.
байланысты құбылтып жасап шығаратын дүниелер.
A boy who grew up in the village graduated from the Almaty Art Academy of Decorative and Applied Arts named after Tansikbayev. Then he wanted to continue his education in Russia. There was an event of 1986, the time when he graduated the Academy of Art. A lot of Kazakh young people went to Russia to study, but they were not accepted to the university. Among those people was Yestai as well. Then a young student was enrolled to the Kazakh National Academy of Art, named after Timirbek Zhurgenov, and he majored in the sculpture department. I had a lot of plans when I studied at the sculpture department. I dreamed to be one of the great sculptors. Due to family circumstances of the third year of the university, I had to take an academic vacation. For a long time, I worked as a restorer on the metal in the Central Museum of Kazakhstan, and there was enough material in storage, exposure, and we often faced rarity things. And maybe that time I gained some patriotic qualities or love to our art, folk, and traditional art. As you have noticed, 80% of my works contains a traditional and national mood. Work in the museum helped me because I had constant contact with the individual products, always saw new ones because they changes exposure and we restored them. Then in the 90s, when the government began to purchase everything from people, we had so many things restored and seen. When I was doing a restoration work, I noticed that the archives were filled with gold, silver, iron, and steel compositions. I was impressed by those compositions. We reported every quarterly what item had been cleaned up and restored. We took photos of our work and provided information how they were before restoration and after restoration as well.
Yestai Daubayev орталық мұражайында реставратор суретші болып жұмыс істеп жүрген кезінде
Yestai Daubayev, while working as an artist restorer in the Central Museum, was acquainted with many historical materials in the restoration of jewelry, which was one of the valuable heritage of Kazakh crafts. Owing to this work, an artist included work including the national spirit and traditional themes. One of the well-known compositions of the artist is Kazakh Saukile. A master depicted three sizes of the world with the image of the philosophical life referred to as the upper, middle, and lower world.
Төменгі әлем деп көрсететін философиялық өмір танысы, өмір дарағы бейнеленген.
During the work of Saukile, a jeweler enriched the history of the jewelry art, revived it in a modern form, brought it with national traditions and our rich heritage, and revitalized it in a new way. Asa Tayak scepter is the most ancient wooden staff with a flat head on which were hung metal forged plates and curls in the form of horns. When Han held the Asa Tayak and stood, the height of this wooden staff achieved 1 meter and 30 centimeters. This Asa Tayak consists of different parts. There's other types of Asa Tayak, which is as a board or a small, was used in the yurt house. I held a large type of Asa Tayak.
Суретшінің тағы бір өзіне тән ерекше тұстарының бірі мүсінші ретінде шығармаларына мүсінші көзқарасымен қарау, яғни заттың сыртқы пішіні.
One of the remarkable singularities of the artist is on his sculpture's attention to the works. He focuses on their exterior shape, comfort, and design of the object. This significant work can be seen in his composition where Hans held Asa Tayak, as currently Asa Tayaks have disappeared. This Asa Tayak is decorated with precious stones and is an artifact heritage in our days. It shows as the artist's work can be considered one of the masterpieces of the past tradition, without losing previous traditions and adapting to our time. From one side, Yestai is a sculptor, secondly is an artist, and complements a number of critically acclaimed artists.
Шеберлердің қатарына жатқызуға болады. Яғни, бір шетінен мүсінші деп қарасақ, екінші шетінен суретші ретінде де өзіне сыни көзбен қарайтын шеберлердің қатарын толықтыратын.
The heritage jeweler in the Central Museum has a great impact on Yestai's choice of jewelry art as he spent a lot of time there.
Сол музейде жүріп бірнеше рет командировка алып, сондай сапармен.
During my work at the Central Museum, I had an art trip to the museums of Russia and Europe. I was impressed by the exhibitions which I saw there. I had a thought when I saw what an amazing jewelry art. We also had such jewelry art in our country. Why did we lose them?
Керемет зергерлік бұйымдар бізде де болған емес пе? Біздікі қайда деп. Сөйтіп бір өзіме бір іштей бір қалай айтса болады бір сезім пайда болды. Айтады ғой, бұл менің миссиям деп.
The idea about the jewelry art that disappeared was in my thoughts constantly. I have a purpose to make ancient jewelry art and show them to the nation. Since that moment, I have worked with jewelry art.
Бірнеше жыл болды, 2000 жылға дейін мен соны белгі болып сонымен айналысып келем.
The Kazakh jewelry arts made of gold and covered by silver are today turned into the valuable, attractive items decorated with gems. The art of jewelry that has a deep history is developing in alignment with the worldview and the history of our nation. Yestai's jewelry works also attracts people's attention.
Зергерлік өнерде идея, ой.
Kazakh jewelry art is very rich in its artistic imagery, impression, and diverse. First of all, I look at the works of the oldest jewelers. I look at their works that can be called as original pieces of art and try to come up with some additions that come to my mind.
Бірдеңені аралап жүріп, бірдеңе іздеп жүріп, басқа нәрсе көзге түседі, әгіні сатып аласың. Сөйтіп, әгі жатады, бір күн жатады, айлап жатады, жылдап жатады.
Copying one thing is not interesting. After the person learns to do something, he tries to do things differently. In the jewelry art, and ideas and thoughts come from the staff and what you have. Of course, there will be a time when you're in researching way to do a jewelry art. During your research, you can find a stone and you will buy it. Sometimes this gem will not be used for a long time in your workshop. One day, the thought will come to your mind to make jewelry art from this gem. Secondly, other people give an order to you. For example, if someone's daughter is going to marry, they will order jewelry. And they order saukile, then a ring for their matchmaker, and the third one, you would like to realize the idea that you have had for a long time. It requires a special training, as you should find a special material as gold or silver.
Алтын, немесе тас іздейсің. Сол, бұл үш жолы бар.
What is important is our ancestors knew well the various techniques of jewelry making. They professionally used complex technologies as casting, cutting and engraving, covering, shaping and making dots. Kazakh jewelers could forge bracelets, rings, earrings from pure gold and also use the molding technique as well. There are a lot of women's jewelry in the jewelry art of Kazakh people. There are necklaces, bracelets and different types of bracelets with 4 rings or bracelets with 2 rings. This jewelry gave a magnificent view to the young girls.
Зергерлік өнердің қазақ өнеріндегі қасиеті өте ерекше, өйткені қазақ өнеріндегі зергерлер
Kazakh jewelry art took a special place in the art culture. The masters paid singular attention to the silver. After learning about the silver qualities, jewelers use silver in jewelry for Kazakh women.
Қазақ елі соның қасиеттілігін сақтай отырып, үнемі қазақ әйелдерінің әшекейіне айналып отыр. Яғни әрбір отбасындағы әйел адамы өзіне білезік тақпай, сақина таппай, тағам жасамаған. Сондықтан да оның қасиеттілігі
When the women used to wear silver rings to ensure the cleanliness of the food. The Kazakh saying that came out of this is to keep the food clean. One should wear the ring. There are many types of rings. A woman in every Kazakh family did not eat or cook without a bracelet or rings on her hands. The jewelry, which were made from silver, is very useful for the human's health since ancient times, as silver can heal diseases. The jewelry art is highly appreciated, the products which were made from silver. Jewelry are products made of gold and silver and decorated with ornaments as well.
Ұсақтап жапсырма арқылы жасай бастайды қол өнерлерін.
Yestai pays great importance to the artistic aspect of his workers as a jeweler who does not break the old traditions of the past.
Yestai Daubayevтің шығармаларының тағы бір ерекше тұстарының бірі, яғни жанды материалдармен жұмыс.
One more aspect of Yestai Daubayev's creative work is that sculpture works with live materials. It means as the craftsman is able to demonstrate the metal's ductility. The peculiarity of Yestai here, he mixes silver with other metals, which are often used by Kazakh jewelers, and he adds the gold with gems.
Мынау колоритін жандандырып атқан дүниелер. Яғни көкшіл, қызыл тастарды орнату арқылы ортаңғы композицияны айқындап көрсетеді. Яғни бұнда
It reveals the jewelry composition by blue or red stones. Here we can see the sculptor, jeweler, or the artist through the colors that he shows through his compositions. By using the large stones, jewelers try to show it in a high level. It is also possible to observe that the master is able to use very well the stones during the work process, and natural properties of the stones also can be shown.
Тәсілдермен қоса, тасты өңдеу, тастың табиғи қасиетін жақсы меңгеру тұстарын да байқауға болады.
The technology of jewelry is very difficult and it requires patience of the master. Every work has a special place for the jeweler, as the one masterpiece which was made by the jeweler will not be repeated for a second time. It shows the singularity of jewelry art.
Зергер болу үшін әрине бірінші төзімділік керек. Төзімділік керек, сабырлық керек. Өйткені бұл жұмыс.
First of all, man needs to have patience if he would like to be a jeweler, as this art does not forgive the mistakes. If you make a mistake, you will waste your time. At that time, you should start everything from the beginning to melt the metal, everything again.
Сол кезде көбісі бұл жерде мінезінің мінезіне байланысты біреулер төзеді, қабылдайды, а біреулер шыдамай шығып кетіп жатады бұл өнерден. Өте сәтті бір шыққан жұмысты кейде сатып жіберуге тура келеді.
Therefore, if some at the same time show patience, then others can even abandon this art. Sometimes you have to sell a very successful work, because you will need the money. I have a dream to build a small museum without selling such items, to make a single album with jewelries in the catalog.
Каталогқа кіргізіп бір альбом болса, әрине сондай арман бар.
Each jeweler has his own secret of mastery. Kazakh jewelers usually lead their knowledge and share experience to their students. Yestai Daubayev, who has already been recognized by his own signature, is a great teacher who is also teaching his students in these days.
Қазір мақтанып, ауыз толтырып айтатындай жағдайымыз бар. Қазақтың зерлігі өнері жақсы дамыды.
Currently, we are proud we have an opportunity to work in jewelry art, and Kazakh jewelry art is developing very well. During these years, strong masters have grown up one by one. The exhibitions are organized twice a year. All masters are able to take part in the exhibition, but you will not be able to exhibit the works which you exhibited last year. If I would like to organize an exhibition, I should show my new compositions, as I have to show my achievements through my works. Every master tries to do it in the same way.
Өскен дегейімді көрсетуім керек. Сөйтіп, барлығы соған тырысады.
We can see at the workshop a variety of jewelry arts which were made from different shapes of the master. All of them belong to Yestai Daubayev. He made them from his creative skills and deep imagination. Every masterpiece he created as a great contribution to our nation's cultural heritage.
Өзім ойлаймын, не істесем де, тіпті бір басқа ұлттың затын жасасам да қазаққа.
I think every of my works, even if I make another nation's product, I have my own Kazakh style that I include in my composition, because my mind, my blood, and education are all Kazakh, and I have traditions and the customs from my ancestors. On the one hand, I am happy. Whatever I do not have to worry, as all works that I have made have a style of the Kazakh nations. Yestai Daubayev is a master of his craft, conveying the centuries-old history of the Kazakh people, culture, customs, and traditions through jewelry art in an easy and special artistic style. The multifunctional jewelry, what it was made, gave a new impetus to the modern Kazakh fine arts.